So, just to recap what we did yesterday, okay? So, just a short recap, what we did yesterday is all about we understand what is the cloud, okay? And apart from cloud, what and how we are running before to that, and what was the challenge we were facing, right? So, the recap was yesterday is that we understood the cloud. We understood the current situation, what are the challenges is there, and we realized that to run our environment more sophisticated, more flexible, seamless, where the things can be executed easily, faster, and we do not need to maintain so many headaches to maintain the hardwares, to maintain the infra, to maintain anything. We find out a solution someone offering, and we taking that solution by using the medium of internet, and that is something on demand basis, means you can take it whenever you required, you can release it whenever you do not required, you only consuming that much you paying. So this is all about we learned yesterday, okay? And we seen that what are the basics service model, how it look like. You must have a account, you must have free trial account. And so we understand like that ki you need a payment method, you need to open an account, you will get 25,000 bucks, and you will be continue to use a free trial account for 90 days. This is what we understood yesterday. Okay. Anybody new who is new, who was not present yesterday?
മുമ്പ്
Anybody?
കുറച്ചുണ്ടല്ലോ എനിക്കൊരു 10 15 ദിവസം അതിന്റെ കിട്ടാൻ മതിയല്ലോ.
So if anybody new, just type in the chat, I am new, or maybe if anybody was same, joined yesterday, are same today, then I do not need to do anything on that part, right? So we understand cloud, we understand challenges, we find out the solution, we seen that what the facility it is offering, what the basic fundamental is that, what the basic component is that, which one L1, L2, L3, L4, so and so we experience it. Now at the last we realize that we need to launch few services just to explore it, how it is working for us, right? Now yesterday we launched a compute where we connected into that, we hosted a website, we launched a website, we configure a software platform, and we launch a website from that, and we immediately deleted that. Some questions arrive that what is this, what is this, what it says. We discuss about so many things about certifications and other stuff. So let's start by day two, understanding more components, right? So what we are going to do today is that we'll be discussing or we'll be exploring some others features through the GCP platform, right? We'll start with the compute engine. You have seen yesterday that we launch a machine and we make it server by installing Linux onto that, and we install Apache, right? So hardware and then OS and then software. We we realize all these three component and we make that component to be live, and by public IP we were able to access that website from anywhere, right? So now we'll little bit extend what we gained yesterday. Now what we are going to do today is that we'll learn about what the dynamic functionality is available. We'll start with launching more computes, and we'll launch one Linux machine, we'll launch one Windows machine. We'll discuss about the basics, features, advanced features, how this compute engine is very, very important for us to learn because this captures so many things, right? It's a very important chapter from starting the cloud computing. Okay. So, what we gain yesterday, what we need to do today is that we understand that we need to open an account in GCP. That basic compliance is that you need to have a account into it, right? So you should hold a account, and there every option is so bigger, right? So I told you yesterday L1 things that in the L1 we'll go to learn server and the network and the storage. Okay. We are going to learn a storage, network, and security. All right. So these four components we are going to learn a lot because this is the graph what you are going to build, start, and no execution of things. Okay. So first thing is that this server management is what, right? So very basics understanding about server management is that you hosting any services that's called as a server, right? Means you are sending a request, then you are a client. Whomsoever you are sending a request, whether you sending a request from your laptop, whether you sending a request from your desktop, whether you sending a request from a bigger machine, a smaller machine, from your mobile, wherever you are sending a request, you will be become a client. And whomsoever will receive the request, respond against the no against the request with the content or anything which is a respond to that query, that will called act as a server, right? So server do more executions, right? Because that task is to receive the request and execute it, create the response and get it sent to the client. So server do more jobs compared to client request the things, right? So server need a more capacity. Okay. That should the device should be have well capable enough to handle more request. Okay. So in the cloud, what we do, we run our business, we run our applications, we run our things which can run be for 24 into 7 for a month, for a year. So we need a machine into the cloud should be more stronger, and being stronger you should more capacity into it, right? More capacity means you should hold more CPUs, more memory, storage that have a capacity from normal compute. Okay. So our laptop is very normal to visible, right? Our desktop is very normal to visible, but the hardware become to be eligible to run 24 into 7 or for a year or for year and year. That hardware is not enough to run. That build system has to be more stronger, right? So what we do to run our application, this application should run 24 into 7 for a year. And so we need heavy configuration of machines. Okay. We need heavy configuration of machine which can run our system or applications or programs to respond the query against the request to the clients. Okay. So it should be having a heavy configuration, right? Now, what we are asking from here is that we need a machine. We need a machine where we can install the operating system, and on top of operating system we can install our application which we want to launch. Correct? So launching an application we need a machine, right? Simple. Correct? So machine creation is the task which you will be receiving as a activity for your profile, that because you are going to enter into the cloud engineer profile or cloud solution architect profile, you will be receiving such tasks where you need to provision the infrastructure, servers, installing OS on that, and installing application on that. So how do you launch such machines? Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that you basically need a hardware. This is what your hardware. And on hardware, you are installing what? OS. And OS, you are installing application. And this application is what? This application do what? This will receive so many requests. So client will request these machines. This will respond to that query and it will act as a server machine. Okay. Now the thing is that how do you launch the machines with the different requirement set? Okay. How do you launch the machine? So I'll give you example that yesterday I launched you one Linux machine as a demo, but if you get a requirement to launch a Linux machine and then you have a requirement to launch a Windows machine, here the requirement is what? Catering with the different set of thing, right? So I'll launch a machine Linux yesterday. So I'll walk through. So you need to get these features to be discoverable. Let me log into that Google console. So anybody have any question related to Google account concerns or you are well enough? Anybody can unmute and answer me. Anybody have any issue related to account opening? Why I'm asking is that we doing sort of thing which you need to repeat. I'll give you some task to do. So you make sure you have your own account in GCP and that should be in the working state. So hope everyone have the GCP console logged in, or if they have not logged in, just try it out. Any challenges, please post or you can just call out or connect to me that this is problem we are getting right. So make sure you have the GCP account, right? Let me log in.
Yeah, Pushkar, I have logged in. And do we have any option like to sign out or log off?
No,
How do
see
we
again what
sign
you
out?
asked. You asking related to sign up.
Yeah, on the console. I have logged into the console and I can't see option to sign off or log off or sign out.
So you have created your account now. That's what I'm
Yeah,
asking.
yeah, I have created.
That's okay. I'm asking only if anyone has tried to open GCP account and he is facing any struggle or problem or any technical issues or sort of confusion, then he can ask at this time because I want everybody from you should have account because I'll give you some task to do. I'll give you some homework to do. I'll give you some to do task to do where you will do it in your account, right? So make sure you will be on the track. No lagging should be. We all should be in very much same track. So after 4 or 5 class, nobody should reach to me saying that I have missed by one lab starting. I am not able to do so because I have not opened the account. So not to do that. Okay. That's what I am requesting couple of times. Okay. Okay. So so this is the Google Cloud, right? This is the home screen. So what we need to take care is that in Google, when you launching any services, that will ask you the regions, right? So in this category, if you coming to this compute engine, see the logo and which type of service is this? Which type of service it is offering to you? Which service model it should be? This is a infrastructure as a services. You demanding machines, you demanding storage, you playing with so many infrastructure things without thinking of hardware. So what kind of service this category is presenting to you? Infrastructure as a services. So this category has huge elements, right? It's not a single element that will explore this and this chapter will close. There is many component in this category where we need to understand. Okay. So what I'm going to teach you in this segment or what you are going to learn in this segment is if the demands come to you that I need a machine with the Windows or I need a machine with the Linux, then how do you create it? So this category is virtual machines. Means the clear picture is here in front of you is that there is no hardware configuration setup or sort of thing you need to manage. It's simply deliver the demands what you asking. So I need a machines and then what I'm saying, create a instance. Okay. So creating a instance is creating a virtual machine for you is equivalent to the server. Why I'm asking server? That we using cloud cost to run our business. That's the reason we need the machine here to run our show application. Okay. So here is the reason. Right? This is the reason. Reason means country. Means you want this machine in which country or which region, then you can decide from here, right? The green is saying that it's have a green energy, right? It's consuming less oxygens. It doesn't matter to you. So just leave it out. Some questions come, what is this green leaves? So you can decide your nearby location. For now, you want to start it, but you can choose any location. There's no mandatory or there's no restriction at all. What I can do here is I can select nearest location, right? So what happened is that when you sign up the GCP understand that you are very, very new to this environment. Okay. So what GCP treat you, you don't know anything. It's treat you like you are just coming here to explore the functionality as a learner. Okay. So when you sign up the account, GCP create a default networking for you. What does that mean is that GCP understand that while driving this features or running the infrastructure or running the services, you do not know anything about networking. So what happened? It's create a default network for you. Okay. So in the GCP, if you sign in and go to this section, which is called VPC, I'll detail all about in detail about this networking part. So don't worry. I need to give you some reference document which you need to prepare first before we jump into the network understanding. But I am just giving you this explanation and summary and demo of this launching machine. Why? Because while doing any sort of activity, so we are going to do anything, we need a machine at any cost, right? You're doing, you need to do a ping from server A to server B, you need a machine. While doing a storage configuration, you need a machine. So either everything you do on your laptop or you can spin this machine in GCP to debug or to launch, to experience all these features and functionality. So doing any stuff of activity, we need a machine in the GCP. So how that machine will be created, that is more important rather than I start technically launching the network. So you should know bare minimum that how can I create the machine, and then we'll understand about networking part post this. This is the minimum requirement. Before we jump into understand the network component part or network features or network services, we need to at least know about how to create a virtual machine where we can create, get login into it, connect to that, and we can do whatever we want to do, right? So then you should know about creating a machine functionality. Now I'm telling you what is that this network part. I'm not explaining you the network thing. I'm just giving you the heads up that when you registering this GCP account, GCP creates a default networking for you. Why? Because he understands you don't know anything, right? So in the VPC section, this have all the features and functionality related to network. Okay, you get my point? So this have all the features and functionality of network. Then there is an option of calling default. Here is option you can see in the default is that this creates you default networking to the all possible regions. So what is there is this. This is saying that I have created a default networking, and this default networking is created to the all the regions. So you can click on this part. It will tell you I have created a networking in this region, this region, this region, and so far. So yesterday you seen a global infrastructure, how GCP have global infrastructure. There the option is 43 region. This created all the 43 reasons in networking, which is called by default. So this is anyhow what it is doing. This is helping to you. Why? Because it understand you don't know networking part. You just come here to start your things. So what we'll do initially, we'll understand how to launch the machine in default networking. Okay. Now this default networking is not designed as per your requirement. So GCP say that whether you like it or whether you want to use it, use it. If you do not like it, you can delete it until unless you do not learn about how to create our own network till the time you can enjoy the default networking. Okay. So this is default networking is not created as per our requirement. That means this is created as a by default. Somebody else created it. Who created it? GCP. So we can use it. We cannot customize it. We cannot modify it. If you want to modify, you want to create, then you need to create your own networking, which is called custom VPC. Custom VPC is the networking which is created on our requirement set. So you will learn about how to create networking, how to use networking, how different networking is something which is in you doing on the prim or the physical networking, how it is different from physical networking to this cloud networking. So this is another experience you are going to see till the time you can enjoy the use default networking. So there's no harm to use it, but if you do not like any sort of configuration what it is offering to you, you can create your own networking. So you will learn about it. Okay. So what I told you, when you're going to create your machine, you can select your region here. Okay. So say for example, yesterday I created a machine in where? Mumbai region. Okay. Now I want to create anywhere apart from Mumbai. Say for example, I want to launch this machine to Hong Kong, right? Now in Hong Kong, it is saying that I have three data centers. Data centers means zone. So any zone's picture will come. You understand this is the physical layout. And this reason is what? This is the logical presentation. It's a logical picture, and this is the physical presence of machines, infrastructure. This is actually the physical setup. So you seen the picture yesterday, how it is look, how the big pictures are there. That is organized and managed by GCP who offering service to us virtually. Okay. So here, what you need to do, just keep any name you want. Region you can select any. Data center you can select any, or you can keep your default, whatever you want to do. Here you need to not to do anything. You just keep it simple because this is coming as a free tier. This account is created on the free tier. So keep it this machine E2. This is called low cost day-to-day monitoring or consumption or testing. So any sort of normal task, you can use this type of machine, which is called E2. This is designed to run normal task or low effort task or low costing task. This will not create so much money to consume. So you can keep it as default. Okay. Now what next? This leave it as default. Don't do anything. Right. So this section is nothing you are going to do. Just you putting a name, you deciding reason, and you deciding data centers. Here, what you need to do, you need to play with your operating system. So what you can do, if you do not want to take this operating system, or you want some Windows system, or you want some other operating system, you can change it. What you can do, you can change it. How you will change it? By clicking on this change button. And here all the operating system is listed, right? So you want to explore or use CentOS or any Debian or OpenSUSE and so. These all operating system brands make are listed here. You can just need to select and consume it. Okay, so say for example, you want to run Ubuntu, then you can select Ubuntu. right? This is the operating system model, and where the versioning is available from this to this. So latest is what? 24.04, and the bare minimum version it support is 20.04. Okay. So cloud offering not the obsolete expired things. It always offered you the latest and compliant, right? So that doesn't mean you go to use Linux or Ubuntu 18 point something, you want to use it. GCP is not giving you that image for you, right? So in that part, you need to go for a custom imaging or marketplace solution where you need to buy those older versions, right? So that offering is also available for you. So what you can do, you can select your all the operating system part here, right? This is the section which you are going to install your root drive. So this is the root drive where this operating system is going to install, and you are getting what? E2 medium machine where the 2 CPU 4 GB memory is granted to use it. So you can change your operating system here. Whatever the operating system you like, you just need to pick it from this drop down list. So all the operating system is listed there. All the versioning is listed there. You need to just pick it and consume it. Okay. So what I did is that I just marked Ubuntu. This is a Linux model machines. Maybe it is, I'm using one of the top latest machine where I'm taking 10 GB of storage to install this operating system. So this is one of the example where you can now launch the server with the Linux machine, right? Now what you need to do next is that you need to take your networking where this machine and where this operating system supposed to run. So here you telling us the track where you design some component to run, where this component will run. This is the base where your component or element or service you are going to choose and decided to run. This is the section where you need to decide this is the track where my services is going to run. So networking, again, it's a very big chapter for you. So upcoming session, if you are going to take it, and then you are going to know learn so many things about networking, which is absolutely different comparatively how you're doing a physical networking or on-premises networking. So this is not the small thing which I can simply bypass. But here I am telling you, you do not need to do anything while launching the machine. You simply need to click few things which you can do easily, which you do not have any questions. Okay. So I decided my networking that anybody send HTTP traffic port 80 non-SSL or secure traffic to this SSL where the networking my server is going to run. This networking is going to allow this traffic. Okay. So by clicking on it, you are allowing some HTTP or HTTPS request onto your machine where this network holding the machine, this will allow these two traffic. Apart from the any traffic you want to allow, say for example, you want to allow SSH or RDP, you can mention those standard name of the ports. Okay. You want to give some host name to this machine, you can use it, or you do not want to give it, keep it blank. It will automatically organized. Okay. And one more thing you will see here that the network, when you decided I will be launching the machine to Hong Kong region in A data centers, networking automatically sense that in this region or zone, which networking I have available for you from the default networking. So this automatically picked. Okay. So when you're selecting here the default, it will automatically grant you these CIDR, which is called CIDR, which is called collection of IPs. This is what GCP is created for you. This is not created by you. You are not controlling it. You are not holding it. You are just, it is a gesture. You are supposed to consume it. You want to delete, you can delete. So no problem to that. Okay. So what I'm doing, I am selecting this network to consume. I am selecting this network. So this part is little bit complex, and it sends you that we need to understand network before launching any services, right? That's the reason I told you that we have to understand network before we going to spin any services in future, right? So networking is very important to learn. Here what it is asking, hey you guys, understanding, maybe you will launching a machine where it should run. Okay, so this networking part is very important. We learn in details about it. So here we using default networking, and in this default networking we are selecting pre-built network. Pre-built network means ready to use network. So I have decided default. This is not the my one. This is the GCP created. We are continuing next. Here you do not need to do anything. Just leave it blank. Keep it blank. Okay. And here you need to do create. So by doing two step, or maybe you can call as a one step, or maybe you call as a nothing to do. By selecting the default category of options, you can simply launch machine. So here I'm clicking, the machine will be ready for me. I'm not going to touch over view of security and other things. The machine is created. Okay. So getting the point, the machine is created here. What type of machine you have created? This is the Linux machine. Which flavor you have generated the machine? That is the Ubuntu machine, right? So this is the way you can create a machine, type of operating system you want, and machine will be created. Now there's options to create in a similar way. If you suppose to launch a Windows machine, what you will do? What the change I will do in the Windows machine? Tell me what I need to do a change. Say for example, I am again going to this another reasons. Say for example, I am going to use Toronto. The Toronto is three data centers. Three data center I've decided one. I leave it blank. Here I'm coming OS. What I need to do to change and pick the server which have Windows system. What I need to change here? I need to
Operating
change
system.
Windows OS.
Windows. And here you can pick whatever the listed operating system. It's a start with 16 and it support you 2020. So that 16 to 25, this series is available. You can consume it. Okay. So I am deciding to launch maybe say for example 2016 data centers. So see the differences. When you taking Linux machine, it was okay to consume 10 GB of storage. But when you supposed to pick Windows server or Windows machine, this need more storage. Why? Why? Because Windows machine need more library to be installed. It's have so many packages to give you the GUI experience, right? It's a heavy packed of libraries or files. So this operating system is heavier comparatively Linux machine. Linux is okay to run with the 10 GB. It's asking 5x. Okay, so you can have an idea about if you're going to do things on Linux machine comparatively Windows machine. Windows machine is going to be a ease of handling. Windows machine do what? It offer you ease of handling. Okay, so I'm deciding here the Windows select, and I just need to just okay. It's saying that you are choosing a Windows. It is a license. You need to pay the cost. So definitely Windows have a license and pay the cost. So this is coming as a pay and go model, means whatever the credit you have, it will allocate from this part, right? Anything else apart from this to do? No. What you need to do next is just allow any browser communication, secure and unsecure, both type you want to do. You want to get login into the server, just make SSH, and you want to do RDP and so, any communication you want on this server, you can allow those ports simply. So you want to do ping on this server, you need to allow ICMP, which is a standard communication protocol, right? So here we deciding communication to be open on this machine, and here the default network is available for us because as of now we don't know anything about networking part, right? So keep it default. So difference you can assume is that when we choosing location is this Toronto, it have different IP set 10.188. When we deciding Tokyo or Hong Kong, it's have a different IP set is available to distribute, to keep isolated network, right? And now what we can do is that we can launch this machine simply. So by doing this, what you are going to launch? Windows machine. So you should know Windows machine to launch because maybe from any of you do not know about Linux operating system. Maybe he want to do the exercise to Windows system like he operating his laptop, and so he can launch Windows servers to do his stuff. Anybody good to go with the Linux, he can launch the Linux machine. So you should know both the machine how to launch it. All right. So I am just creating this. I selected network where this machine is going to run, and here I created this machine. So by simple click, you are creating your services. This is the enjoyment of cloud, which give you all the features and facility by simply clicking on next, finish. And this job, who would not like to do this by click and do the task? Okay, so this is giving you ease of accessibility, right? Yeah, Venkat, you raised something.
Yep. So after I logged in, when I clicked on computer engine, it is asking to uh, enable computer engine API. So do I need
Correct.
to
So the
enable?
good thing you stop me. Whenever you are going to sign up the account, because this is the free account. What
Hmm.
is this type of account you are going to create? This is the free account. So free account means you need to enable those services before you going to launch it. So what simply you need to do, just enable it. Enabling is just a restriction or it's a security element that your account is in the hand of right way. So this is the free account. That's the reason by launching services, it will ask you to enable the API. So at that moment, you just need to enable it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
So good question you asked because this may be a faced by some other folks also. So that's a good thing. So I taken a question because it was in middle of launching. So I took a question which also good questions, right? So good question is always taken rapidly. And if any question apart from this context, we'll park those questions. So no worry, right? So these two machine I have launched. One machine is Windows and second machine is Linux. Like this, you can launch all your desired machine in the similar way, right? And you can then get login into it and you can do your stuff. If your application team or software development team wants to consume this machine and want to host the application, they can just simply get login into it and they can do the task, right? So what I need to go here is that if I want to get enter inside the machine, this is the option is going to help you. Here the difference is what? This machine is Linux machine. Means this machine is CLI machine, and this machine is saying that you want to come inside me, you need to use this protocol. And this machine is saying I am using RDP, means you have a Windows machine, you have a Windows GUI that get you onboarded. To get login inside this machine, you need to use this protocol. Okay, so this simple, this little bit next to this, right? So if I want to get inside the server Linux, what I need to do here? So I can log in from this console, right? Inside this server. Internal IP means this is the communication which is going to manage internally. This is the communication address which going to handle the traffic from outside. So if I click on it, I'll get inside this machine. And then the machine is mine. I can do my task. How I'll do it? You just need to click on SSH. So SSH here you doing means you entering into machine and it is validating few process, that's then you need to grant the execution. So here I am logging to this machine. Now I have welcome to this machine. I can do my task, whatever I want to do. So anything you want to do like that. So this is your machine. You can run your tasks, what you want to do. So any requirement comes to you, any sort of task come to you, being engineer, you are assigned to launch a machine, you can do like this. Okay. Now, how do you experience to launch the Windows machine and get login inside it? What you need to do? RDP. So RDP is saying that I cannot offer these services from this console. You need to use the RDP protocol from your Windows machine. What I can help you, I can give you that RDP connection string where you can simply double click on it and get login inside it. But you know that Windows machine ask what? Windows ID and password. Right? Where we'll get the password ID? So this machine, because see, you are entering to Linux is taking a authorization from your account, which taking you login because you are trying to log in from console to console. So the validation is just a approval system. This is the Windows machine offered by Microsoft. Now, Windows machine asks what? You need at least user ID and password. How the user ID password you will get it to log in this machine? So here the option is what? Set Windows password. Okay. So you can get the password here. So this is the user you want to set your own user. Say for example, I am just setting admin user or admin one, and I'm just setting it set admin one. So it will generate a password for me for admin one user. So this is creating a user inside the machine and this given me a password of that user. I can simply copy it, close it. Here I can download RDP files. Files has been downloaded. I need to double click on it and I can get login inside the Windows machine. How can I do it? Just double click on it. This screen will be shown to you. You need to just click on this connect. This is the IP 30.98. You can see this IP is available here 30.98. So you are going to this machine. You are going to enter in this machine. What you need to do, just click on connect. Now it will ask you the password. So this screen visibly must be visible to you. This will ask you the password. So what you need to do is that you need to pass the user ID because this user ID taken default. What you can do, you can use admin one and you can control V, that is the password. Okay. Okay. Now you are going to enter into the machine and this machine will look like. So this machine will prompt to enter. You want to get login inside the machine. So this screen will be visible to you. You can see this screen. You need to click on yes. And here you can log into your Windows machine. So this is the machine you have logged in. So it's preparing your profile. Now this machine is yours. You want to install any sort of activity, sort of action, you can simply do it. Okay, so this is loading a profile. So you can do a comparison how the Linux machine you getting into it. It's very quick and fast. How you getting logged into Windows machine, it will take longer time. It giving you the Windows presence. So this is the absolutely a blank machine. You can do and consume it for your purpose. What you want to do, you want to do application installation, do it. You want to do website hosting, you can do it. So whatever the purpose you want to use this machine, you can go and consume it. Okay. So now its machine is your. You have taken 50 GB of disk to this machine where the OS supposed to install. When you click on the file explorer, it will show you the machine. Right? If you click on this PC, there's a 50 GB of machine. Okay. So you are good to connect Linux machine and Windows machine. If you are opened your account first time, you are getting as a default login. You do not know anything about networking. You supposed to run the machine, launch machine, Windows, Linux. You can do it easily and get login inside. Any questions to this area? Because this is the bare minimum, bare basic thing is needed, and you need to launch the machine so many times. So you should know how to launch the machine to do our rest of stuff to the coming services, right? At least you should know about it. This is the pre-nursery sessions, which at least you should know how to launch the machine, because any sort of activity we need a machine and we should know about how to launch it. Any question you want to, you are okay to launch the machine? Any of you won't have any questions, please ask. So are you comfortable to launch the machine, or any sort of thing you want to ask me which you want to know, right? Guys, I am audible. So you can unmute and ask question. If you clear, then just give me a go ahead. I can move next.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. So good. This is what I'm expecting. So I am closing this session is not more needed. So here I can delete the machine, right? It's up to me that you want to. So you know that how to launch the machine and connect to it, right? This is how you connected using your default configurations, right? So as of now, if you know that few thing you also need to recall is that if you using the machine, you can make them shut down, stop. You can start it. You can suspend the connections. If any communication is coming to the server, by click on this suspend option, all the traffic will be stopped. So what it does, it take the network configurations down so that any other traffic supposed to come on this machine, it will not do. Okay, you can restart the machine by doing this. You can delete the machine by doing this. So these sort of functionality you would be continue to use it. This is the basic thing, right? So you launching a machine, you should know how to stop it, start it, and you continue to use it. So you launch the machine and you do not need it for 2 days or 1 day or 5 hours, 6 hours. For the timing, what you can do, you can stop the machine so that it will not consume your free credit which given on this account, right? So you can use this functionality, correct? Okay. Okay. So moving next, what other things you should know about which we can do it, right? So this is the compute engine, right? Compute engine category, you get familiar about VM instance, right? This VM instance is your machine where you are running your application, your data, and all this thing. So any sort of activity, if you want to perform on the machine, you can do it. and you can make it shut down, right? There is two way to connect. What you can do is that there is two way to connect into the machine. So if you taken a Linux machine, so let me write it here. Okay. One is you can connect via console simply, and second is you can connect via tool. Understand? So what you can do is that you can connect your machine directly from GCP console, which you have just seen that. And second thing, you can connect via tool. Okay. So if you have a Linux machine, okay, that is the destination. And the source machine is your Windows machine from where you want to connect. That is the source machine. Then this need a authentication of what? This need a key, okay, which is called PPK key or as a private key. When you log in into the machine, which source machine is what? Linux. And destination machine is also what? Linux. So here you can use it what? The key type of thing is PAM file. Okay. So make sure that if the source and destination is like that, you get into it, you do not have the console access. What you need the key. Okay. So say for example, I logged in this machine. I'm just stopping this. I want to get this machine login with the key. See, Windows machine cannot connect it here directly. There is no other options. What it is asking you, download the tool, get connected with it, take the password, ID, connect to this port which is RDP, and you will get inside this machine. Now I'm connecting in the Windows by not this console, by using another RDP sessions, which is a similar kind of tool. Okay. Now you want to get similar way log into this Linux machine. How do you do that? So what you need to do is that you need to add some validation point to this machine and you need to take a copy of that. It's kind of lock and key. Okay. So this is the Linux machine, by the way. Okay. And I want to get login inside this machine. So what I can do, I can get login it into it and I need to use this keys file. So what I can do, I can edit this machine and I can authorize if someone coming outside what the key he is coming with and what the matching should be done with that lock and key. So you put the lock here, you keep the key with you, and you can match both of them and get login inside the machine with the third party tools. So what the third party tools is available to get login inside the machine of Linux is there is Putty, one of the familiar tool is available. There is the SSH connection manager is available. So many tools are available where you can easily get login inside the machine with outside of console, GCP console. So what you need to do for that is you need to just come here, edit this, and you can do this addition of add item. Now this is the key which is already created here by the GCP. What you can do, add your key inside it and keep the key with you. You keep it lock here and keep the key with you. How do you do that? You need some tools to create the key. Now there is a famous tool coming to create such lock and key is that Putty generator. That is called Putty Keygen. So what you can do, you can launch or download that software. It's a very KB software. You just launch that software like this. So Putty generator is going to help you here. I am going to share the screen. Hope you can see this. Is it visible?
Yep.
So what I can do, I can generate the key. This is the key which you can simply download from Google. That name is Putty Key Generator. It's a KB of software where you can put it on your system. By moving the mouse cursor here, this does the task quicker than the normal creation. So by moving mouse, it get created very quickly. You want to set a user, you just type a user here, admin one like that, and you can just copy this entire context, copy, and you are coming to here, you are putting this lock with you. So this is the lock will be matched and somebody is coming with the key. So by doing this add item, what you have and make it clear to this machine is anybody coming and this get matched with lock and key, let them log into this machine. Okay, so this is the save. Okay, now this key has been saved. What you need to do from here is you need to save this copy of key, means the key. What you can do is you save the private key, get it downloaded as a 123, save, replace. So you keep a key with you and you put the lock there. And what the tool you need to connect for get login inside is there is so many tools is available. So one of the tool is available SSH, connection managers, MOBA Extreme, Putty, any of the tool you can use it. So just a clear visibility, more text to be clear. I am using a tool which is called a MOBA Extreme. This tool look like this way. You can also download this. Allow one or two, three machines to connect as a free trial. But by connecting to this, the font is visible, clear, the coloring is there. That's why am I using this tool. Let me share my screen to showcase. So I'm using this tool to get login to the Linux machine. So what I can do here, I can click on this session. I can click on SSH. I can put the IP here, right? So what the IP should be? So you tell me that if I put the IP of this machine, so if I put this IP, will be I able to connect to this machine externally outside?
No.
Okay, I'm putting the networking question, but it's okay. I just want to check how you can sound to this question maybe. So no, I think the fair answer is no. Why? Because this is the internal IP. It doesn't recognize outside of the word. So if we supposed to connect inside the machine, which IP we must use it? This IP, because this is saying I'm external. I can accept the traffic which is coming outside of this environment, right? So in simple, you creating your services inside the boundary. This is the boundary is what? Network. Now you're running servers like this. Okay. Now this server have LAN card, or maybe you call it as a network interface card. That network interface card have one IP, which is internal. That network card have second IP, which is external. Now any traffic is going to connect, it will come like this, or any other services inside running, they want to connect this machine, they can simply contact by internal IP. So this network runs like this. We'll understand more in detail in upcoming session on the network part. But if you want to reach this machine, you need to connect with this IP, not this one. This will not allow you to enter. Okay. So I need to copy this IP. So I can copy. There's an option is to copy the clickwords. To never click like whole string. Just use this shortcut to copy the context. Maybe you have copied. This give you confirmation that you have copied. So if I click like this, copied, they say that copied. I can put it here. So what the username should be? You watching my screen, you seeing at what I'm doing. So what the user name of this machine I have created from the key generator. Tell me, guys, I'll put
Admin,
question because I want you to awake and see the things. I know that bit of thing is very well known to you, but I want to set a background or I want to set a ground things to match everyone. So, what the username? Anybody answered like this? What is that?
admin,
What the username I should enter here to get inside that machine, which is Linux, and we are getting login outside using a tool, which is the SSH tool. This is used for get inside login for a Linux machine or CLI machines. So every OS has a CLI Windows. You want to get login inside the CLI environment. Now I'm putting this IP to get enter to recognize over the network. Now which user I should enter here? So user we should enter here is admin1. Why? Because while putty generator we set the user here admin1, and that is the key gone to the GCP console. Okay. So I can use it admin1. So here I need to type admin1. I need to give the PAM file where it is in the download folders. So download 123. Where is 123? I think it was not created properly. Let me save abc dot ppk. I can use that key in this section, use private key abc dot ppk, or we can use. Okay, that's fine. Let's try to connect. Okay. Okay. So you get logged in with the user admin1 and you logged into the instance, which name is what? Instance 2025, like that. That is the same name which we created the instance here, right? This is the instance we logged in. Last number is 36. So we use this IP to get login inside it and we entered to this machine. How we entered to this machine? Not from GCP console. We entered into this machine by using a tool, a software, by putting key authentications, right? I mean, the lock and key pair, we use it and we get logged in with the tool. So you understand? So anybody ask you that a server is there, I want to get login inside it externally, what you need to be prepared for this is you should use this much setup to get login inside the operating system. So what you learn here? You learn these two component, that how you can launch, connect machine from the console and from the external environment. Okay. So this thing also you learn about stop, start, you can reboot it, you can suspend it, you can change it, you can delete it. So what does cloud give you? This features, functionality is giving you what? The machine is running. You created a key. You created a set of lock and key while machine is in running state by doing a editing. So what basically you doing it, you performing certain action while the machine is it in the running state. Okay. So while machine is running, you are performing action in parallel to that also. Okay. So if I ask you one simple thing, maybe you know the answer or you may not know the answer. So if I ask you that I want to get additional disk to be added while machine is running, can I do that? My question is, I want to add 5 GB increase to my root volume. Root volume, you know, na, where the OS is installed, operating system is installed. That is the root volume, root disk, where the operating system is installed and it is running. So if I want to increase 5 GB more that to that disk and server is running, would I able to do this? Yes or no?
No, no, for root we can't.
Very good question. Very good answer. So this is very good, interesting answer, and this such interesting question you can't do. So I am telling you that you can perform such dynamic options, dynamic operations, or changes while machine is running. If I ask you the different set of questions to understand the beauty of the cloud is that I want to add one more disk. So now there is a root disk. I want to add one more disk to this machine while it is in running state. Am I able to do this? Yes or no?
Yes,
You
we
can
can
do
add.
this. So what I want to give you a sense is that the cloud setup or cloud environment is absolutely a fair place where you are eligible to run your dynamic changes or operation, which is technically feasible or technically or security wise should be feasible. That option do you can do it on the fly. Okay. So this thing, if you are making changes while machine is in a running state, what I'm saying, if your machine or services is in running state and you are able to modify it, or maybe you are able to do some modifications, you can do adding, you can do change, you can update. Such thing is called was such thing is called as a elasticity. Or you can say like I can do my dynamic operations while things are running. It is not disturbing the current running environment, but I can do some sort of activity while things in the running state. I do not need to stop that. Okay. So not everything. The first question answer is said, no, we can't do this. The answer is good. You're bit aware about it. So I'm saying you that not every possibility you can done while the show is running or services is running, but technically feasibility point of view, you can modify the changes. What you can do, you can modify the changes. So any modification is applicable for changes. That is the dynamic functionality. You can do it. So if I ask you one more question here, if I want to upgrade my instance, or in nutshell, I want to ask you the question is that my machine is running with two virtual CPU or 4 GB memory. Can I add more CPU and memory while machine is in a running state? You're saying that yes, yes, cloud seek rahe hain, we learning cloud, all thing is possible, everything is possible in the cloud because that is giving you all the restrictions free. You can do a lot of dynamic operation. How the answer suits you? Can you add more CPU memory while the machine is running state? I'm watching the text also. Someone is typing also. No. Yeah, no. Correct. So these thing means you can do the things which is technically feasible and it should not damage you anything, right? You can modify the disk, but you can modify which one? You can add disk, but you cannot modify it. You have to do some other steps to run. So there is so many things which you can drive it. The technically possible, dynamically not possible, technically not possible due to security reason, due to functionality, features. So we are going to learn those things further, which is going to create us for next thing, right? So any question on this before I picked new things to start? Any question related to launch connect Linux machine, launch connect Windows machine, dynamic operations fundamentals? No? So there's a text come one thing about the PPK concept. So see the this is just a combination and matching of your lock and key, right? You're creating your public key or private key. So you putting one keys at the servers and one key copy of with you where you matching and uploading it, that is doing a stuff of job, right? So there's a difference of how you created a PPK concept. So PPK is needed when you are using a Windows system and you are connecting to the CLI system, you have to use this, right? And if you are doing a Linux to Linux, you can do the PAM file, right? There is one more thing which I am going to tell you is that there's additional stuff you are going to learn, right? So next question can come to me is that how the difference is. Next question came to me is that what happened if I lose this key? If I lost this key, how can I re-authenticate it? So such thing we are going to learn in upcoming chapters. The next stuff where we will going to do the compute engine learnings, right? There I'll show you one example of creating this key, understanding this key, and what happened if you lost the key, or what happened if you need to recreate the key. Okay, so I'll give you a good understanding on the key pair concept, that is called key pair. So you are going to understand it more in detail after networking will start compute engine chapter. There you will learn it. For now I give you a bit of understanding how you can launch the machine and connect into it. How do you go to connect the machine with the key file if your machine is Windows and you're going Windows to Windows, right? So if you want to create a PAM file, what you can do is that you can convert and just export open SSH key. This will create a PAM file. Okay. So there is option where you key generate. We put the keys public at the server. So this context, this thing we have copy, which is a public key, and we are creating a private key, which is restricted to be consumed from the requesting side, from the client side. So anybody coming from the client side, he has to pass his private key, or this key would be taken on the public where it will kept on the servers. So I'll give you the detailed explanation all about the differences, what the key pair works like that. So wait and I'll come to this topic in details with more understanding. Anything apart from this? No? Okay. So I want to get you next layer, right? This is just a preparations before we jumping and learning other things. I need to give you a sense that by learning this cloud concept, you should hold bare minimum thing is that you should at least know how to launch the machine, getting into it, logging it, doing the stuff, doing if you want to do ping from server A to server B, you need two machines. You want to connect some services to three machine, you should know how to launch one, two, three machines, Linux, Windows. So this flavor you should know all about it. This is not the ending of compute engine, right? I want to give you sort of understanding how this virtual machine to creation process is. If you want to create it internally within the console, and if you want to create it for external connects, this is the basic thing you should hold it. Few elements which is very interesting related to key pair, PAM and PPK and all this thing. I'll take you in the next session how detailed concept is this, how it is working for you, what the importance of this key, what happened if this lost, or what happened if you want to change it. So those things we'll learn about it. So compute engine is a very heavy topic. It cannot be bind up with the 1 hour and 1.5 hour discussions. It's really long topic. So if you're going to explore this compute engine, it's one of the biggest consume, or maybe one of the common consumptions to the cloud, where all majority of services or application website, most of your services are going to consume these services. So most of your environment is going to consume this server to create, right? Anything, any purpose. Okay. So we learn about VM instances, we learn about machine engine, we learn about reservation concept. This comes in a FinOps ideas. We'll do a project when we migrate our machine which is running in data center like that, and we'll move to the virtualizations to the cloud. So we'll take one machine from our VMware to migrate to the GCP cloud. We'll learn about the storage part. So storage is also very important. We'll learn and explore this disk functionality, will snapshot functionality, right? We'll learn about imaging solution, what is that? We learn about instance grouping is this, what the health check do, right? So there's such thing you are going to explore. Okay. So this is a very heavy section, and we should know about how we can drive our compute engine category more soundsful, correct? So before jumping, I want to set some understanding related to that. I told you in the beginning that when you registered your account, GCP, it create you a default network. Okay. So default network means this creates for you, right? So say for example, is in this account, in the VPC network part, if this was not available, so understand it like this networking part is not available, or someone deleted it, or you do not want to consume it. Say for example, this is giving you this much of range, and this is not likely to you that you do not want to consume this range, you want some other range to consume, because this is the decision, right? Networking happens once at a time, and this continue to use until unless there is a collapse happening. Okay. So what we will do is that we have to know that the default networking is coming to us. We cannot be dependent to continue to use this default networking, right? We have to create your own networking, and to learn the networking part. That's the reason I told you in the beginning that you should hold a knowledge of IP and subnetting. I'll give you the reference doc, okay, which you can easily go and refer it, understand it, how the IP subnetting will work for me. So what we need to do is anything you are going to launch, example of you are going to launch compute, okay? So compute is asking that where I should launch. Okay, it was asking you that you want to launch a compute, where this compute is going to launch. Means it is asking you the base where the service is going to launch. So you should know about your networking, how it is going to generate, how you will create your own networking, as I say, as a customized network to the GCP cloud. And to start with the customization network creation, you should have basic understanding about IP and subnetting. Okay. Second thing is that this is absolutely a different process how you creating a network at your physical networking versus how this cloud networking happened. So technically, if you say to me is that we are going to technically start, see this all thing I told you is a very normal, very basics things, right? You should know about how to launch a machine and connecting to that. But genuinely, if you want to start understanding cloud technology, you should understand to create your base. Getting my point? So we should know how to create our base where the services which we are going to create that will going to run on this stage. This is going to be your base where all your services are going to spin up and going to run. Okay. So customized network is your choice. Okay. Your choice means you are creating your own boundary. And you are now further deciding that in this boundary, I will run my service here. I will run my service here. This will communicate like this. Any communication is coming outside, how it is going to communicate. If any devices from my internal side go out, how it will communicate. Means you are creating your own boundary and you want to set the ground rules how my network should behave. See, the network create first. If you are going to build your own house, what you will do? You directly create the first floor? No. What you do, you set the four pillars, create the base, and then you start building your floors, right? So in this learning, we have to learn about how we should create our base, how we should create our pillars then, and then we will learn about how to create our floors. So here it is going to start with the networking. And to understand networking, you should once go through with the IP and subnetting, which we are going to use in this section for do networking in cloud, right? So cloud is absolutely a virtual environment, is a virtual delivery of technology via using internet medium. So you do not need to bother about all the hardware arrangements or hardware procurements or hardware assembly, configurations, set up them in the box, getting logged in into it. All the services are ready to use and you are going to consume it or maybe you are going to configure and consume it, right? So we need to know that we need to learn how our networking will work, what is the requirement for that, how we are going to create it, and why we are going to create it to run our show. Okay, you want to control your. So basically, this is the internal system here. If you see this boundary, it's have two zone. One is external outside of this boundary, and one is internal, which is internal component. So next thing you are going to learn about creating isolated portion. In the cloud, you are creating your isolated portion that is called as your own network. And there you are planning that how my organization is going to consume, what the future strategy is, how many component I am planning to run, which segment I am going to run in this network, which segment should talk, segment should not talk each other, what the privacy you want to build it, what the restriction you want to build it. So firewall rules, right? Routes, pairing, connections, right? This is all about we are going to learn tomorrow. So I'll be sending one reference doc in this WhatsApp group. Maybe you can just go through once. And technically, we'll start by doing so far, learning how to create our network. And then inside of network, we'll launch whichever we want to do. Okay. Any question? Any question, guys? Venkat, any question? Vaju?
Fine.
Okay. So good. I think let you prepared once go this content, right? Just go through this basics understanding about IP. It's a very small doc. It's having the IP addresses detail. It's having a uh, subnetting details you should know all about. And then you can start by doing creating your own networks, right? So you are well to create the machines, right? Any questions to that machine segment or launching your operating systems? So can I give you the task maybe if I want to give you related to launching a machine? Maybe for today you
Yep.
can create it. So this is the day 2, right? And I want to give you some task to perform. So I do to do task in red, that to do. So what you need to do, you need to launch a machine in the default subnet also. That's not a problem. So what you need to do, a default network launch machine, which should be your Debian Linux 12, which is a default machine, right? Keep a name of this machine is server A or server A you can mention. Now you need to do launch a second machine. So this machine you want to launch it in the region of where. So once you registered and open the GCP account, it gives you default networking. In the default networking, you select any regions, right? And there in the region, there would be a portion of network, sub network is available, which is called subnetting. So what you need to pick, you need to create a second machine. So you need to create one more machine. That machine is, say for example, you launching Windows. And here I am giving you to launch the task Windows machine 2019, right? And you can keep the name of this machine is server B. So what you need to do is that you will create two machines, right? One machine you are going to create in Mumbai network. So Mumbai region, I can simply mention. And second machine you need to launch in Delhi. Okay. And what you need to do is that you need to ping from, so you know the ping now. Ping is just sending a hello traffic, right? And you receiving acknowledgement also. So you sending hello and the receiver party say that, oh, I'm listening you. So it keep a replying to your message. When you're doing a hello, hi, it's kind of a ping communication. So you're sending hello, you need to do a ping to that public IP, and that ping should work. So what you need to do is that you need to log in this machine, server A, inside it. How do you log in? You need to log in via Putty. So I did it as a mobile stream. You can simply download Putty, and by Putty you need to log in server A with the tool. You do not need to log in directly from the console. What you need to do, you need to log in inside the server from a tool which is Putty. Second machine Windows, obviously you need to do get the RDP. So second machine will only work with the RDP tool. What is called is remote desktop protocol. Okay. So by using this protocol on the RDP, which works on 3389 port, you can connect to a Windows machine by entering user ID and password. Right. So from this machine, from this machine, you need to ping server B. Okay, so what exactly you need to do? You need to server ping from server A to server B with on public IP. And what you need to consume? You need to consume default VPC or default network. Okay. So is it okay for you to run this exercise? It's a very simple exercise what we did it today. Little bit difference is that I am changing some OS detail. So we had logged into Ubuntu. I am giving you Debian to launch. And I did a launch of Windows Server 2016. I given you to launch Windows Server 2019. Here you will do bit of mistakes or bit of normal things. Maybe it doesn't work for you or it get work for you better. So for whomsoever it doesn't work, maybe they can put their ask that I'm trying by this method, it doesn't work for me, how it will work for me. So there's a learning for them. All right. So this to do is a very simple, very easy. I'm not asking you to create so many things because at this stage you have not gone through in so many details part, but it's a basic exercise for you to just warm up your hands and then you can make your hands more dirty. Okay, cool. Okay, Mohit is asking one question here. Will there be a billing difference for default and isolated private? See, the billing is absolutely there. For every part, billing is there. Okay. So this is the free account means that's the reason why this GCP is offering you 25,000 bucks because they know that you are only not be specific to going as a restricted state. You will only use free services. You are going to consume their paid services and they know very better. That's the reason they grant you 25,000 rupees for an Indian continent if you registered. So there is a billing, right? If you have anything related to billing concern, there is a options to calculate and know about it, right? So anything you want to know the billing calculator, here the GCP estimation calculator, where any question come to you that this service, if we going to consume like this, how much cost it will generate. So there is every platform gives you the calculator to estimate the cost. So many questions comes to me from the cost point of view. Okay, this is going to costly or this is not going to cost. So good question, Mohit. This is for all. If you want to know that which service is going to take the cost, what cost it would be, what you can do is that you can use this calculator, right? And you can add your estimation. So in your sense, if you want to go your just a second. So anything you want to do estimation, just click on the plus. Here you can change your billing to INR. You don't need a chat support. You just need to change INR. So there's a lot of options. Is there? There's the Indian rupees. Add to estimate. You want to know the VPC, right? So you can search here VPC, right? So you want to know about networking part. So networking part is called in the Google Cloud is VPC. So if you click on this VPC part, now wherever you want to cost or you want to know the cost, you can take all the elements here, right? So you choosing your region, you choosing this much IP you are going to consume, this much. every section you can fill it and you can come to know what the cost it is going to consume, right? So in simple, if you are going to consume only your IP address in the VPC, right? These are the part in the VPC is going to cost you. Okay. So in my answer, if you simply create a VPC and you are not consuming this much data transfer, NAT gateway, balancing, IP address and so far, that is going as a free of cost. But if you consuming like this, you consuming the region of, say for example, you consuming the Mumbai region and you are going only to use 5 static IP. And this is saying that assigned but unused. Okay. So static IP you taking and you are not consuming, then this is the cost is going to generate. Number of IP to be used and public IP you saying 5. Okay. So number of IP on this, so this you don't know, keep it 0. So this much information is giving you a bit of idea about you can calculate your consumptions. So I just came to know, okay, fine. This is okay. I can save, or maybe I can share this estimation with anyone, or I can download the CSV Excel file. I can create my budgeting and also, so you can create this link to create it, right? Okay. So estimation is gives you a bit of idea about how the cost is going to target the cost, maybe the target the money, or you can estimate it. Okay, fine. This is the service I am going to use like this. This is the cost I will be burning. So this is the burning cost. You can calculate by this calculator. So fair questions. One thing also I want to tell you is that few question comes to me that what the limit is. Okay, what the limit of this service is, how many network I can create, how many server I can create, how many this I can create. So in the section of service quota, right, there's a quota. So in the quota, right, you want to know all the quotas, right? How many limits are available for my account? You want to get it increased, or maybe it is restricting you to use only that much machine, say for example. So you can come and get all the information related to all the quotas, right? So this set up a quota and this limit tells you this is the limit available in your account and how much you have consumed it. And you can set a alert also that if that consumption goes by this limit, I should be informed. So this is saying if you are going to create the network, there the default value is the 5, but you can increase it. How? You can need to edit the quota. Though, so there is a certain quota limit on your account where you are restricted to consume due to the security reasons. So any quota, if you granted not to consume further, right? You can increase those values. So you can request here to edit the quota and the GCP team get it approved. So you want to increase any quota which restricting you to create more services, you can request for increase quota here and that will give you options to increase it. So this will show here only when you are triggering from edit quota option. So you need to click on edit. Those requests will be shown in this panel. Okay. So here you can just click. So and no any services has crossed their 90% of consumptions. So this filter works for you and tell us. So this is a huge list, right? You do not need to remember or recall. This is saying that in Asia South 1, example of Mumbai, if you want to launch machine, the default quota is 24. You cannot launch more than 24 machine as a default, right? But you want to get it increased, what you need to do, just click on edit quota. What value you want? I want 50 machine to launch. Just mention 50 machine, enter your reason to gain business or gain uh, business or maybe demand or requirement, just simple requirement, and you submit it. Done. When you submit the quota to increase, This will show here the status is that what is the progress status on your quota request. So quota request is nothing, is doesn't need any recall or remembering method to recall how many limit I have. It's just a method you can go and check how much limit you have consumed. You want to increase it, you can increase it. Okay. So these are the basics things about your cloud consumptions. You should recall and remember it. You should know your basics quota, remembers. Maybe if you face any problem with the quotas, you can come to this section and get it increased. So no need to recall or remember it. Oh, I have this limit. Oh, I have this limit. No. Cost calculation, you can use it estimator calculator to know the cost. So both thing will carry you next knowledge, or you will be keep in touch that you would aware about what the cost is going to burn. All right. Any other
Yes.
question? From UAE, is there the question from Baju has asked from UAE which location I should choose? Okay, so location point of view, you do not need to figure it out so many in detail. But what you can do, you can go at their global geographic location. Maybe you can touch point to that nearby location, or you can just get it from this drop down list. Okay, so if you create a VM here and you can find out all your nearby location from this. Nearby location is not going to change so many things. It may flicker for business for a seconds of performance or maybe a DR point of view. Otherwise, choosing a location is not much complicated decisions for you at this stage. Okay, so you can choose your all the nearby locations. So America, this is you want to create Europe, Asia Pacific. Okay, others. So this much location they have. Okay. All right. Any other question? Baiju, I think you got my point. You can pick any location. Doesn't make. If you want to be specific from UAE, which location is nearby you, you can go through their global infrastructure map where you can pick the nearby location. So here the option is GCP global infrastructure. Okay. You can pick your location. So you can watch it from here, which location is this, right? So this location is all where they're running their show. All right. Any other things? You can view complete list of regions here. They have complete list of regions how they are. So they have depicted here all the regions is available in this documentation. All right. So nothing more in this. Maybe we'll start tomorrow technically doing network setup, how to start with this. I'll sending one document, just have a look on it. And yesterday we'll create our own network and we'll know about what the basic thumb rules to create a network, what the things we need to take care about it. All right, Venkat, Mohit,
Yeah, fine.
great. We'll reconnect tomorrow on the same time. Thanks. Bye. Take care.